Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a roller coaster parkour house. Now, this build is very simple, but really colourful, really fun, and it can be a little bit challenging. Let me show you. So our goal is to get up here, and the only way to do it is by completing the parkour course. It's a very small course, but if you're as bad at parkour as I am, then it's going to give you a bit of trouble. You start here by climbing in the minecart and railing your way up to the first obstacle. The first obstacle is for us to jump onto the slime block and get bounced onto the other side. It is actually very hard to do this the first time. You get unlimited tries though, because all you gotta do is climb up to the top here and rinse and repeat, and eventually, that can happen again. Attempt number 4. Hey, we did it! That took so many attempts. Anyway, once we are across the first obstacle, which may take you a lot more time than you care to admit. Well, you want to climb into the roller coaster again, and it will take you to the second obstacle and the final obstacle, if you will. And we get out of the roller coaster, and the idea here is that we cross this gorge, and all we have to do is, this is troublesome. And the idea here, of course, is that we use our momentum to conquer the second obstacle. If you do fall in, you'll fall into water, and you can easily climb up and give the obstacle another go. Once that has all been conquered, we finally gain access to the house. Once inside of the house, you'll notice that we have 3 individual rooms with loads and loads of space inside of them, plenty of rooms to hide goodies and all sorts of other things, but most importantly, we get to bask at the top of our roller coaster parkour house. Oh, and once you finish with the house, you can easily just drop down here, and this will take you all the way to the beginning. If you enjoy this tutorial, please do remember to hit that like button, as it helps me and the channel out very, very much. If you do make it all the way to the end, please share the video with a friend, and that is pretty much everything. Let's get started. Now, before we begin building, these are the materials that you are going to need to make the build, so please make sure that you have access to every single one of those materials, and please do make sure that you have enough of them as well. The house will require a 20 block by a 29 block area to make, so please do make sure that you have enough room as well. But once you have all of that sorted out, ladies and gentlemen, pause the video if you have to. Please do make sure that everything is in order. Once you got all your stuff, once you got enough room to make it, we can begin. Now, the first thing that we have to do is, if you've made this grid in your world, come to the front left hand corner. You then want to count to the right by 1, 2, and then inwards by 1, 2. This is the starting point. Place a red concrete and 1 behind it. 1 above, 1 behind. 1 above, 1 behind, 1 above. We're then going to go to the right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Extend down towards the ground. Then extend towards you on the ground by 3. 1, 2, 3. Go right by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to go in by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then up by 2. 1, 2. Right by 2. 1, 2. Down by 1. And then right by 3. 1, 2, 3. Move backwards by 3. 1, 2, 3. You then want to move up 1, back 1, up 1, back 1, up 1, back 1, up 1, back by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to move across the build by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to connect down to the ground. Perfect. Then I want you to place a row of red concrete, one row away, coming forwards, that is equal in height to the row that we just placed. So we'll have something that should look like this. I want you to take the top and extend backwards towards the right there by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then move forwards by 2. 1, 2. You then want to go down 1, towards you. Down 1, towards you. Down 1. And then this is the thing. You want to go towards you, forwards by 2. 1, 2. We then want to go left by 3. 1, 2, 3. Like this. We're then going to connect that block down to the ground and then extend out of the back by 3 again. 1, 2, 3. We then want to extend right by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then inwards by 1, 2, 3. We're then going to go up by 1, 2, 3. And then coming across to the left side of the build, we're going to place 3 more blocks. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to go up on top of this block, and it's better if we take this sort of view. We're going to go up on top of this block by 2. 1, 2. And then move backwards by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We then want to go right by 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to connect this down to the ground. I want you to take a row. That's an awkward way of saying it. I want you to 1 row backwards, so leaving a gap of 1 from this long row here. I want you to create another row of red concrete that is equal in height to the row that we just made. So leaving a gap of 1, you place an entire row of red concrete, just leaving a gap of 1 backwards. I then want you to take the top block here and extend it left by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to go up by 1. And then we're going to extend back 1. And then up 1. And then we're going to extend back by 2. 1, 2. I want you to go across the right side of the build by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Extend 1 block towards you. Right. Towards you. Right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Extend back. Right. Back. And then right by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I then want you to extend backwards by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then across the entire back of the build by 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We're then going to take that 19th block and extend towards us, towards the front, by 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're then going to extend down, forwards, down, forwards by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Down by 2. 1, 2. Forwards by 2. 1, 2. And then I want you to extend down, forwards, down, forwards, down, forwards. And eventually we will end up with this shape right here, and you might not have realized how crazy this had gotten, but believe it or not, you've done a huge amount of work there. Give yourself a bit of a pat on the back, ladies and gentlemen, because that is a massive amount done. And now that that's done, I'm going to show you how we turn this into what you saw at the start of the video. So I'm going to begin with the yellow concrete, and I'm going to work my way from the front of the course all the way around. So first of all, we have to place a row of yellow concrete in between the bottom of the first initial hill here. So we just have to place about 3 yellow concretes coming up towards the back of the build. We also have to place yellow concrete underneath anywhere that we might find gaps for the course. So we want to essentially, at its base level, we want to fill the bottom of the course in like this using yellow concrete. We also want to do the same thing on the right side here. So this is the jumping pit, but if we move beyond the jump pit, we also want to have yellow concrete that just at a base level just gives us a way for us to walk around the track like this. We also want to place yellow concrete coming up and backwards like this that will allow the roller coaster to take you to where you need to go. And we have to place more yellow concrete underneath the red that will allow us to just walk up and around. So you can see where the yellow has came from. You can see that just as a necessity, we only need about this much yellow so that we can walk around and we can do our jumps and all of that fun stuff. Beyond the second jump here, we also need a row of yellow in between this pair of red as well. So like this. And we need to extend this backwards too. So we're actually going to extend it backwards, and once again we need to provide a walkway that will allow us to not only come back to the start of the course once it has been completed, and that's what these yellows are here for. We can extend forwards, and then we have to extend down like this and backwards. So you can see now that this now connects us back to the front of the course, but we still have the yellow walkway, the yellow brick road if you will, that connects us from the front to the back. We also want to, well, this part's a little bit strange because we actually want to have some stairs, and the stairs aren't even necessary, they're just a little bit nicer than just regular blocks, but I'm just going to have a couple of rows of oak stairs leading up into the house like this. And then I'm going to place an entire row of yellow concrete underneath the entire house area. So I'm going to have an entire row of yellow just sit underneath the red concrete that we have here towards the back, and this is actually going to be the floor of the house. And we even want to fill the little balcony area in as well, because we do want that two-tone depth texture. You can see where all the yellow has to be placed. And equally so, we have to fill the entire floor in back here, because, I mean, we need a floor. So all of this will be yellow. And once you've filled the entire floor in with yellow, you may also choose to add what I would refer to as scaffolding. So you'll notice that the platform back here kind of floats. You might not like that. You might choose to add a couple of rows of red concrete that make it look as though that the platform is supported. Absolutely not necessary because of course Minecraft physics, but you might choose to add a few rows of red concrete to make it seem a bit more legit, so to speak. But once that has been completed, you've done quite a bit. I'd also recommend extending the rows of yellow down to the ground. And what I mean by that is basically like here where we have at the front, you might want to extend the rows of yellow down to the ground, so you can't just straight up see through the course. You might find that it looks a little bit better. It's completely up to you though, you don't have to do it. The same thing can be done here on the right side as well. It's a little bit trickier to get to these parts, but you might want to connect it down. In doing this, you'll create much more of a fortress type feel, really. Although there's no way to get up to the house even without making these adjustments. You kind of just, I don't know, the fact that it's boxed in a little bit, it just makes it feel, as I said, a bit more like a fortress than just like a house. It really feels like something that's like impenetrable, and that further cements the fact that the only way to get up there is through the course. Unless you want to cheat. Cheating, you know, it's very possible, although that's no fun. So, you might choose to do what I'm doing now, absolutely not necessary as I keep pointing out, but we are connecting all of the yellow down to the ground. Which will give us a look that should look exactly like that, and as I say, you might like that, you might not, it's completely up to you. So, now that that has been done, what I also want you to do is I want you to make the jumps. So, the first jump that we have here is going to be the slime block jump. And to make it, you need exactly that. You need slime block and some red carpet. The slime block is to be placed directly in the center of this square hole. You place a red carpet on top, and you surround it using lime concrete, like this. You then dig out the area, and if you're concerned about fall damage and all that, just in case you are a little bit clumsy like I am, you might want to surround this area with water. But all I've designed is that you place some blue concrete around the jumping area, so you just re-floor the area. And we will also need some ladders as well, because once we've just refloored, the way that you would climb back up, and I don't actually have ladders on me, surprise surprise, but they will be in the material list, but the way that you would get back up if you manage to do the jump or not, I don't know if it's possible without the slab, so I don't expect to make this, but you would obviously jump directly onto I'm so bad. You would jump from here onto the slime, which would make you bounce onto there, and it's not going to bounce you every single time. You actually have to land on it in a particular way, like that. So that is how that would work. You climb back up there. That's perfect. That's the first obstacle. The second obstacle is a little bit different. So first of all, we have to connect the left side to the right side here. And the way that I'm going to do this is I'm just going to dig in front of the front pair of red concretes that we have here. And I'm going to replace the area using red concrete. So just like that. And I'm going to do the same at the back. I kind of want to just figure out the tank area. And I want you to dig out the back, and I want to replace those with red concrete too. And I'm going to dig out the floor in between because it's much easier to do this now. I'm going to dig out the floor, and I'm going to place some blue concrete in here instead of the grass. And now I'm going to add rows of blue stained glass pane on top of the rows of red concrete like this. About 3 rows or so will do. You don't have to go crazy, although honestly you can do it all the way up to the top if you like. Well, that's not strictly true, because that would make a way that you could cheat. You see, we want to eliminate any sort of clever thinking from this, meaning I don't want people to be able to figure out that there's a few ways around this. So for instance, what I mean by this is, if you were to do the glass one higher, say, so currently the glass is in the perfect place, you want to be 2 rows from the top, but if you were to have glass just 1 row higher, then what could people do? They could simply climb up onto the red concrete, and they could walk their way over the glass, and they can climb up on the red, which is why it's quite specific that you have to have the glass that low. And in the middle here, we want to take the very middle block, and we want to place a row of specifically 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow concrete with a lime on top, like that. We then want to fill the bottom of the area in here using water, just so that nobody suffers any fall damage. I think that 1 row of water is enough to offset the damage. I'm not sure, but feel free to add more if you like. It's just that things get tricky on Bedrock Edition. As you see, if you try and fill in just inside the panes, if you place the water, you can literally place the water inside the glass pane, which is no good, because then you cause a leak and then you got to smash, replace, destroy the source block. We also have to place a row of ladders coming up here, as if we were to fail the jump, and this is the easier out of the two, by the way. If we were to fail the jump like that, I didn't even mean to, then we could climb back up here up the ladders. And that's exactly what we're after. Now, those are the 2 jumps. And once you have done those 2 jumps, we now have to place the rails. So, to make the railing, or the rails part, I'm just going to grab some powered rail, lever, or lever, however you want to pronounce it. Need minecarts for this, and also some oak wood slab, some blue stained glass pane, and that is pretty much all. You might also choose to add some chests to keep some additional minecarts in. So, first of all, the rail starts right at the front of the build, and I'm actually going to grab my red concrete too, as well, because I'm going to dig into the ground left and right where the build starts, and I'm going to extend the entrance forwards by 2 rows. I'm going to place blue stained glass pane on top of the red, and an oak slab right here. And I'll also need yellow concrete too, because I am going to destroy the floor and replace it using yellow concrete. So you see, it's a much nicer reception area. And then I'm going to place a mix of rails and powered rails coming up and around here that is going to, oh, I guess that has to be regular, that is going to take us to the first obstacle. So you want to place an oak wood slab at the beginning of the rail and at the end of the rail as well. It's actually better if you don't have a powered rail right at the beginning. So the oak slab will start here, and it'll actually assist you with the jump too. And of course, to make the powered rails work, now there's a multitude of ways that you can do it. You can use levers placed next to the rails. You can have levers underneath the powered rails as well. So where's the first one? It'd be here, right? So you could even, and you know, this is tricky to do. It's actually a real annoyance to have to do it, but you can place the levers underneath wherever you have to, and that will mean that when you hop in your minecarts, there we go. We get a nice little boost coming up and around, and I'm not sure that the minecarts can actually scale the climb otherwise. You might be able to, but I don't know enough about minecarts to actually confirm that. There we are. And then this one here, how would you take care of that? Well, again, you know, you place a lever to the left, to the right of it, or even underneath as well. If you're going to place one underneath, then obviously you're going to want to try and cover it up a little bit, but that's the problem with placing it underneath. You know, it's kind of up to you whether you want to do that or not, and you don't even need powered rails as you get to the top. You'll find that once you have... Come on, minecart. There we go. Let's go all the way down to the bottom. You'll find that from the bottom, the powered rails will take you all the way to where you have to go. And moving through from that side to this side, we want to, again, you know, we want to have like an oak, we'll want to have an oak wood slab where the rail is starting, which is right here in this corner. We're actually going to want to place some blue stained glass pane around this corner area as well. That's just a little aesthetic design choice. And we're going to have a set of rails, so maybe like 2 regular rails, and then as we get up to the hill, powered rail, non-powered rail, go up to the top, we've got a powered rail right up here, and then we can have a set of rails that lead us right to there. So exactly like that. And it'll be the same situation. Like it really doesn't matter how you do choose to do this. It really doesn't. However you want to power your rails, you know, it's up to you. You can just straight up, I believe, place some redstone torches next to them, which would probably be a pretty decent choice. I don't see why you couldn't do that. So I mean, let's see if that works, right? So let's place powered rail right here, and let's grab a redstone torch. Like, I'm not like a redstone master. I don't know how these things work exactly. No. Okay, so what if we place it literally next to it? No, it might be that it has to actually be placed on it. So levers/levers might have to be your best choice. But basically, as long as you get from there to there and from there to there, that's all you're going to need them for anyway. And that is the course pretty much set up from that point to that point. Now all we have to focus on is the house. So the house is very, very easy to make, and I'm going to recommend that to start making the house, you come all the way to the back right hand corner of your platform. And on top of this block, I want you to place 4 yellow concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're then going to extend towards the front one, up 1, front one, up 1, front one, up 1. But we're also going to take that block and we're going to extend it forwards, down, forwards, down, forwards, and then all the way down, like that. And then we're going to have the same shape on the opposite side of the build. So if you come all the way to the opposite side of the build, we're going to take this corner block, raise it up by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to go right 1, up, right, up, right, up, take the block underneath, go right 1, down, right, hit the ground, just like that. That's perfect. And once you've made those two, I want you to come towards the middle part of the build now, and I want you to, behind this pair of red concretes here at the end of the balcony, we're going to place 4 yellow concrete coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're then going to extend each of those in 1, and then up, in, and then up, in, and then up right in the middle, just like that. And that's about as easy as it gets. All we then have to do is connect the bottoms together. The back is easy because you just connect the back left to right, like this. You connect these sides together as you would expect, just like front to back, like so. And then all we have to do is connect the sides to the middle. So we just have to like extend in, and then like that. Here, like that. And that is all you have to do. But what else do you have to do? Well, you have to give this thing a roof, okay? So to make the roof, you simply place some red concretes on the sides of the triangular shapes, which there are 3 of them. You've got 1 on the front here, then 2 on the side. You extend the red concrete inwards by a row, like this, so it's hanging off the ends. You connect it together underneath like this, just like that. And then you would extend all of those red concretes like around the side of the house. So like for instance, you'd extend it right and it'd come all the way to the right side of the roof. You guys get the idea, right? So like you extend it right, like this. You make sure that the roof overhangs. And then you would extend the rest of the roof like across. And you do the same thing here on the left as well. So like you would extend the red concrete like left. Make sure that overhangs. And then you connect it in those 3 places. So you connect left to right and front to left, front to right. You guys get the idea. And that is how things are done. And once you have done that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll do like the filling in and stuff later. I want to point out a few additional details. So what else have you got to do? Well, there's an entrance in 2 different places. So number 1, the first entrance that I want to make you aware of, the actual entrance to the house, is positioned here. So on the left side, we have a double door of oak doors right here. We have another entrance which takes you out on the balcony on the right side of the build, and it's positioned right here, just right in the middle. It's an oak door, okay? We also have a little bit of glass. So there's a bit of glass on the front of the house, and it's basically a glass pane coming down from here, and then one underneath it as well. And we also have an entrance just down below it too, just like that. And we also have a little bit more to do as well. So we're going to grab the oak fence and the lime concrete, and we're going to place bushes in 2 different positions. Left and right of the entrance, on the main entrance right here, we're going to have oak fence with 2 lime concretes on top, and those just look like bushes. And the same thing on the right side, it'll be an oak fence with 2 lime concretes on top, the left and right hand side like that. And that will give you a, I don't know, it just looks like a cool little bush area, that's all it is. And then all we have to do beyond that, other than like connect all the house together, fill in all the walls and stuff, I'm also going to dig around the entirety of the house, okay? So like I'm going to dig all the grid out, the side of the grid where I've placed all of the lime concrete, okay? I'm going to replace all of that with reds, like so. And then I'll dig out inside of the area, and I'm going to place blue concrete in there instead of the grass, so, or whatever it was that was there. So like I'll be digging that out, I'll place a red barrier all the way around, blue concrete inside. I'm going to fill in the rest of the house, ladies and gentlemen. The reason that I'm telling you this is because I'm going to do all of this next part off of the tutorial, and it should be fairly obvious, hopefully, how you would complete the build from here. And I pretty much showed you how to do it. I've just told you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do exactly that, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back in a second. I'll show you what the finished product looks like. And here we have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is what the Rollercoaster Parkour Course house will look like once you have made the final modifications like I have. Which means that you have placed a red border all the way around the base of the build. You've filled the middle of it in using some blue concrete. And you've simply sealed up the walls of the house using yellow concrete, and you have just made the roof complete. I do hope that you have managed to make this without any problems. If you have, please do remember to hit that like button. Yeah, as it really helps me out loads and loads and loads. If you have enjoyed the tutorial, please do remember to hit the like. And if you've made it all the way to the end, share the video with a friend. Sharing is caring. Normally, I'd usually cut the video off here, but if you do like houses like this, I'd highly recommend the Fun House Tutorial playlist. It has loads of houses like this, and I'm actually contemplating making some more because this was so much fun to design and make that I just want to make some more now. But thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I really do appreciate every single one of you so much. I'm going to see if I can try and land on this slime block right here. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye! Missed by an inch.